I know. You guys are wondering, why is this idiot wearing a t-shirt in the middle of December? Well, this car is warm in here. And that's the beauty of having a Tesla and preheating. Hey folks, welcome back to Model 3 Guys. Thanks for clicking on that button. Thanks for watching. I apologize. All I'll say is I have a family. I have a full-time job. That is not an excuse. That is just a reason why. This Pro Tips Volume 5 is coming to you a little bit late, but that's life. Life is life, folks. We're very, very busy. And, you know, of course, it's close to Christmas and everything like that. So, speaking of Christmas, I just left home and we're getting ready for Christmas and stuff like that. Look at all the cookies. Today was a cookie baking day, a family cookie baking day. When I say family, minus me, I can't bake cookies, but all the other kids, excluding myself, and the grown-ups baked cookies, and we've got tons of cookies. More cookies than the eye can see, actually. Now, folks, if you're familiar with my series of pro tips, this is Volume 5, which in turn means I've had 4 previous volumes. Each volume had 4, and for all my OG subscribers, the original Pro Tips had 6. I had a bonus when I threw in there. But after that, I've kept it to the 5. And you know what? We'll keep it consistent today. We'll keep 5. Volume 5, 5 tips. Let's get started. Tip number 1. It's brought to all of us by an awesome tip giver, I guess you could say, on YouTube. His name is Stan, and I hope I get this name right. Stan Heinrichs. So Stan gives us the quick wiper option. We all know, like I did in one of my previous tips, to get the wipers on quickly on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, where the left-hand stalk is, where the turn signal is. You can just, hold on, people are turning, okay. I had to come off autopilot there for a second. So, sorry, getting back to the tip. On the left-hand side, right on the tip of the stalk here, is the wiper function. So we all know if you press it in lightly, the wiper will come on for one quick wipe. And if you press it in more, the washer fluid will come on. Well, also, what Stan is saying, so you don't have to take your eyes off the road or anything like that. Just with your left hand, any of the fingers you want, you just tap the button lightly so the wipers will come on. So you actually need the wipers, so it'll actually give you one quick wipe. But then what comes on the screen here, you get right away, when you do that, the wiper options come on the bottom left corner. So now you can pick what you want. You can pick whether you want it on, if it was off, if it's an auto, and we all know how well the auto wipers work and the auto sensing. Some people say it works good, some people say it doesn't work. I haven't had much success with it. Elon says that they're working on it and they're going to get better. Well, we'll see. But anyways, thanks to Stan. He says one of the tips, like I said, is press that, and the quick wiper option comes on, and you can control whatever you want from there. Thanks, Stan. Okay, moving on to tip number 2, folks. Now that the weather's getting cold in most of the places where Model 3 is, except for sunny California and all those southern states, where I am very jealous, needless to say, for you guys. But I chose to live in Canada, and I love it. So there's no regrets. But what I'm getting at is, now that the colder weather is coming, a lot of us are using car washes, automated car washes and automatic car washes. So a lot of them have these conveyor belts where you have to. Please don't, by the way, please don't take your Model 3 into one of those automatic car washes that your tire goes into a groove. And with these rims that we have on, they're so expensive and they're such nice rims, they will scratch and scuff your rims if you take it into one of those ones where your tire has to go into these grooves and it pulls you along by your wheel. Go into one of the, and most of the new ones, the higher technology car washes now have a flat conveyor belt where your car just goes on. But why I'm saying that is because a lot of these car washes need you to be in neutral. You don't want to be in park, you don't want to be in drive with your foot on the brake, you need to be in neutral. And I can't do it here. I mean, I'm at a red light now. I'm driving, so I can't show you how to do neutral unless we come to another red light. So what I'll do is I'll overlay a video right now of how to put it into neutral. Okay, folks, so put the car into neutral. You just hold up on the gear shift for just a little tiny bit for about 2 seconds. Don't put it all the way up till it clicks, just halfway up for about 2 seconds, and watch, look at the screen here and watch it to go into N. See, it goes into N and you're in neutral now. To put it back into drive, put your foot on the brake and press all the way down. Now you're back in your drive. And it's that simple, folks. You put it into neutral that way. I mean, you won't need neutral very often, but for car washes, you certainly will. So that way you can quickly, I know the very first time last week or 2 weeks ago I went to put in neutral because I went to a automatic car wash. it was a pain in the butt. It was the first time I needed to put it in the neutral, and it was a pain in the butt. There's also instructions in the owner's manual too if you want to know how to get into neutral. Okay folks, tip number 3. As we all know, the Model 3 doesn't have a heated steering wheel, and you know, it's fair enough to argue to say that with the premium package, the Model 3 probably should have had a heated steering wheel. Well, it doesn't, but there's a little hack you can do. We all know that the Model 3 has an HVAC system with a unique ventilation or vent system where you can control the vents and control the heat or the air conditioning or the air wherever you want it. Well, what you can do is you can, before you leave the car at night or something, so when it preheats, you're already going to preheat your car in the morning, so when you get in the car, it's warm. Well, why not at the same time point the vents to the steering wheel so you can preheat the steering wheel at the same time? It won't work exactly the same as a heated steering wheel, but you know what, it'll get warm enough that you don't actually have to wear gloves and stuff like that. And why not? You're already preheating the cabin, you're using that hot air, you might as well use it to heat up the steering wheel. As you can see that I have mine set to point at the windows. Also, what you can do, instead of having it heat up the steering wheel, you can actually have one pointed here and the other one pointed there. I don't know if you can see on my screen that it'll defrost the side windows, so when you get in the car, if it's icy or something like that, it's really cold in the wintry months, you can actually have these melt. I mean, heating up the cabin will also do a lot to the windows in general, but it'll also do this a lot quicker too if you have it. So that's where I have mine set. You can have it set on the steering wheel. That's tip number 3, folks. Okay, folks, quickly moving along, let's go to tip number 4, enhanced autopilot nag dismissal. Now, what you can do here, as we all know, I said in one of my previous videos, I didn't do it as a pro tip, but I thought to myself, you know what? It should be a pro tip, because this tip was brought to us by one of our YouTube guys named Tom Dean. Thanks, Tom, for this tip. He says in his tip that, you know what? Instead of jiggling the wheel and stuff like that to when you're in autopilot like I am now to get rid of the on-screen nag, what you can do is you can use these roller wheels on the steering wheel, either the volume one on the left or the automatic speed adjustment on the right hand side. You can move these up or down, and basically what it's doing is telling the car, yeah, I'm still here. What you can also do is use what I commonly do, and when I said in one of my previous videos, is use the actual autopilot stalk. You just, instead of pushing it up, you don't want to push it up, that'll take it out of autopilot, you just push it down, and that tells autopilot that, you know, I'm still here. Or while you're in autopilot, you can actually signal. Putting on your signal left to right will also tell you the car that you're also already there. That's tip number 4. Okay, folks, tip number 5, and as you know, if you've been watching the other pro tips, I always save the best tip for last. When I say the best tip, it's like what I think is the best tip, but it may be different for you. This is just my opinion that it's the best tip. It's been brought to you guys by one of the YouTube subscribers once again. His name is Joe Putz. Nice name, Joe. Joe Putz. I don't know if that's your real name. If it is, I don't mean to disrespect you. I think it's just a funny name, but who am I to make fun of names? My name is Dax. So anyways, what Joe says is you can choose different driver profiles for different things in the menu. Now, most people think that with the driver profiles, all you can do is just the mirrors, because if you go to the driver profiles here, you see I've got a few of them, but a lot of times people think you can just do the mirrors and the seats, because those are what's on the screen when you set up a driver profile. But it actually does more than that. It does what Joe says it does. It does your driving mode, your steering sensitivity, your fog lights, your regen, cabin temperature. Not 100% sure about the cabin temperature. I'll take your word for it, Joe, but I'm not 100% sure. The auto folding mirrors, you can choose that, and a lot more other stuff can be actually manipulated and set in your driver's profile. Instead of you having to go through all these different sub-menus and fumbling through all the menus and everything like that, you can do it all in a driver profile, and you just name the driver profile to whatever it is. Like, for example, you can choose chill or standard mode in your driving profile. You can choose the regenerative braking, whether you want standard or low. You can put creep or not creep on for different driving profiles. So you can do a lot of those things. I think what he says too is the mirrors and the steering wheel. That of course we know. The lights, the fog lights, and the exterior lights, whether you want it on auto or not, you can choose all those kind of things, and you can set them in a driver profile. So that's tip number 5. You can customize your driver profiles. Stop. Joe's right, actually. You actually can do the cabin temperature, because I've got 2 different profiles in here. If I change it to my other profile here, it changes the temperature to 21. If I change it back to what I had before, it changes it back. Whoa, don't go there. It changes back to 22. So yeah, Joe is right. Cabin temperature can be set in a driver profile. Okay, folks, there you have it. Those are your 5 pro tips for Volume 5. Thanks for watching. And like I said, like I've said before, if you have any pro tips of your own, leave it in a comment below. And just like Stan and Joe and Tom, you'll get your tip mentioned. You'll get a shout out, and you'll be profiled in the next pro tips volume. So leave a comment below. Leave a tip below if you have any pro tips that you haven't heard, or I haven't mentioned, or you find it's useful and you'd like to share with us. And like I said, I'll use it if I can. Thanks for watching, folks. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. The channel is growing. I appreciate everyone tuning in and taking the time out of everyone's busy schedule. I know this time of year, like I said at the beginning of the video, is very, very busy. It is the holiday season, whether it's Christmas for you or whatever religion or holiday it is for you. I know it's a busy time of year. It is hectic. So with you guys tuning in and viewing, I greatly appreciate it. I try to answer as much, if not all, the comments I can that are positive. The negative ones, sometimes the trollers get me and trigger me, and I'll respond to them, but for the most part I try to ignore the trollers. You guys, if you see someone trolling, spewing negativity, go ahead, you can get into it with them. Be respectful and everything, whether they are or not, but I try not to get into it with them. I try to ignore them. Anyways, thanks for watching, folks. Like I said, stay tuned. We're going to try to bring pro tips every single week. That's all I got today, folks. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.